Thank you.
That's a minute. A little more room there.
Wow. Okay, you folks, listen up. We've got a big group in here, the largest we've ever had in the church for the winter serenades. It's probably the same number on Easter Sunday, I think.
I wish.
Yeah. My name's Gary Skoog, and I'm one of the members of our Serenades Committee. We have Jackie Davis, who is our chairperson. She's in the back. You probably said hello to her. And Terry Carbone right here in front. And our pal Patty Coots is down in Florida. I don't think it's raining there right now, but we wish her well, Patty. We live stream this, so thanks to Bill Henderson. Is Bill down? He's around. He's probably by the instrument panel. But Bill Henderson is a volunteer with the church, and he sets up all of our technical stuff on the winter serenades, and we appreciate his support every single concert. Thank you to the donors. You probably saw our basket in the back. Fortunately, it's overflowing with money, and all that money goes to our Summer Serenades Committee, our Winter Serenades group, so that we can continue to have live music in the village of Brockport and surrounding environments. And I know not everybody in this room is from the village of Brockport. So welcome one and all. If you've not been in this church before, and if you're interested in the history of it, we have a brochure, and that can tell you all about it. But the donors keep our program going, and the people in our community are very, very supportive, both in terms of our business support as well as individual and family support, and we thank you very much. This summer, we're going to kick off the Summer Serenades program on July 7th, and that'll be on the SUNY Brockport campus, as we've had previous 3 times they've visited us for Summer Serenades. It's in the CERC building, acronym SERC, Student Student Recreation and Education Center. So we're glad something like that. It's close enough, isn't it? All right. Pardon? And that's the RPO. At this time, I'm going to introduce Miss Connors, and she's going to talk about the church for just a second, some housekeeping issues.
Yes. I'm Janet Connor. I'm in vestry, which is our management team here at St. Luke's Episcopal Church. Happy to see everybody here. Very quickly, if there's a need for an emergency exit other than the one you came in back here, you would go up this ramp and through the little chapel area there and out the door on the other side. You can go down to your left, or if you go to your right and follow around to the right, there's an escape route there with an iron staircase. The other important thing, anybody needs to go to the bathroom, back up that ramp, straight ahead towards the parish hall, make a right-hand turn down by the kitchen. There are 2 lavatories. So that's what I have to say. Enjoy this concert.
The experience here is like any place. When you have a mature audience, we always have to know where the lavatories are. So if you have to use it, don't be afraid to get up and take care of business. Right now, it's time for our guests, musicians and dancers, John Dady, Braden Dady, John Ryan, and friends.
morning, rested by a white oak tree, heard the lark sing high and evening, caught the moonbeam on the sea, softly blow the winds of morning, singing winds your mournful sound, blow you from the earth's four corners, guide this traveler where he's bound, by foreign shores my feet have wandered. I heard a stranger coming friend, every time my mind was troubled, came a smile around the bend, softly blow ye winds of morning, singing winds your mournful sound, blow you from the earth's four corners, guide this traveler where he's bound. Now there's a ship standing in the harbor, all prepared to cross the foam. Far off hills were fair and friendly, still there's fairer hills at home. Softly blow ye winds of morning, sing ye winds your mournful sound, blow you from the earth's four corners, guide this traveler where he's bound, softly blow ye winds of morning, sing ye winds your mournful sound, blow you from the earth's four corners, guide this traveler where he's bound, guide this traveler where he's bound. You're very kind. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming on this rainy day to celebrate our Irish heritage with us. My name is John Dady, and my dear friend is going to be playing squeeze box and flute and tin whistle. His name is John Michael Ryan. Good? My braw's wrapped. So, how many folks here have ever been to Ireland? Whoa, I can't be telling any lies then. So, in Ireland, you would greet people and say, how's it going? How's the crack? So those who've been to Ireland know that crack isn't a drug. C-R-A-I-C in Ireland, in the Irish language, means fun, a good time, good music, good song, good stories. So when an Irishman tells you that crack was fierce last night, he's not talking about drugs, he's talking about a good time. A tune that Joe and I heard this first by a good friend of ours who wrote it. He's originally from a town just north of Dublin called Drogheda. And he moved to Savannah, Georgia, God, probably 50 years ago. His name's Harry O'Donoghue, and he was nice enough to give this song to Joe and I. How's it going? It's called. How's it going? How's it going? Let's have a pint or cup to keep us warm. How's it going? How's it right? I've been away so long, it's great to be back. Early winter, spring or summer, and the scene is still the same. It's fortune to the bar for a jar before getting on the plane. And the head stands up on the back of your neck as a plane flies through the night. affair. All the pipers and the fiddlers, there's music everywhere. And he slipped into an empty pub for a wee two-door song. And the place fills up and the folks join in for a raging sing-along, saying, how's it going? How's it going? Let's have a pint or a cup to keep us warm. How's it going? How's it cracking? I've been away so long, it's great to be back. You've already been back for nearly 2 weeks, and doesn't time really fly? You put away so much of the stuff to get it drunk like ever dry. And to make the best of the time you have left, you pack your bags and then you head for the plane to the cheers and the rain, and the next day you do it again, saying, how's it going? How's it going? Let's have a pint or a cup to keep us warm. How's it going? How's it cracking? I've been away so long, it's great to be back. How's it going? How's it going? Let's have a pint or a cup to keep us warm. How's it going? How's it cracking? I've been away so long, it's great to be back. Thank you so much. I'll continue on here with the waltz too. As many of you know, I know a lot of folks. How many folks have been to Ireland on the Dady tour? Quite a few of you. Yeah, wonderful time every time. Eh? You came home safely. I think I have one coming up in September. I think it's my 38th tour to Ireland. And I think there's 4 spots left if anybody wants to go with us. September, when are we going, honey? September 17th? September 17th, yeah. And we're going again next July. I remember it was early on, maybe our 5th or 6th tour. I have to remind you that before we were married, my wife and I did the hitchhiking thing around Ireland with our backpacks and our tent, staying in youth hostels and playing on the street in Dublin. In years past, and I remember cursing at the tour coaches driving by and passing us up when we're hitchhiking. Little did I know that down the road I'd be hosting tours on those very coaches. And I'd see other young hippies flipping me off because I wouldn't take them up. I remember it was maybe our 4th or 5th tour over there, and we were staying in a beautiful place in Dublin, the Royal Marine Hotel, and where the ferries come in. And I was looking out over the water from my hotel room, and I got pining for my wife Carol, who had been there with me years before. And so I wrote this song, and I remember it came out together pretty quick, and I remember knocking on Joe's room next door, my brother. Joe, I got a new song. I'm going to play it for you. He goes, sure. I played it for him, and he cried. So I said, perfect. So it's a tune I wrote for Carol. We stick a little waltz in there from the great fiddling of John Sheen, the Dubliner fiddler, Merino waltz. So this is called Come Back to Ireland. was dockside in old Dunleary. 20 years back in my memory, this night takes me back to our traveling days. Landing in Dublin in the morning in May, just 18 years old, so young and naive. Ireland was ours to experience and see. Hostels and campsites in a beauty and peace. The life of two rovers, we slept where we be. Oh, the years they go by, the time slips away, and without you it's just not the same. So pack up your bags and come on, fly across the sea. If only you'd come back to Ireland with me. Strolling on Sundays to St. Stephen's Green, singing for supper on Old Grafton Street. This old Dublin we love, sure it's not quite the same. Her innocence lost, but her charm still remains. We were hitching and hiking to Galway's west coast. We met farmers and shepherds and few villagers' ghosts, and we shared and thrown in their nets out to sea. Oh, place in my life I could not rather be. Oh, the love that we've shared since the time journeyed around, in most of our dreams are fulfilled. Oh, the magical, wonderful romanticy. Only you come back to Ireland with me. Now we're having you Dublin again and it's spring. With you by my side, with me their biggest wings. Oh, my dream has come true, my love, can't you see? Now that you've come back to Ireland with me, oh, the love that we've shared since the time journeyed around, in most of our dreams are fulfilled. Oh, the magical, wonderful romanticy. Now that you've come back to Ireland with me. So anybody that's followed and listened to the Dady Brothers through the years knows that our hero was a gentleman from a little town in Northern Ireland called Dady in County Armagh. His name was Tommy Macomb. Tommy Macomb came to America in 1955. I always remember because it was the year I was born. And he came over here to pursue an acting career as a stage actor. And he met up with some fellows that he had met back home. They were from Tipperary, I believe, the Clancy Brothers, who were also struggling actors. But with them from Ireland, they brought a wealth of old Irish folk songs. It had just kind of been lost. People weren't doing it anymore. And they kept them going. They brought them to New York City where they were living. And they started getting a following. They would just be sitting around in this place called the White Horse Tavern, singing songs, being out-of-work actors. And the crowd started coming. And at one point, the Jewish manager came up and said, "You know what, fellas? You can make a heck of a lot more money singing than you ever will as actors." So the Clancy brothers and Tommy Macon were born, and 2 years later they were on Ed Sullivan. And it changed everything. They became the international ambassadors from Ireland and its music. And this is a Tommy Macon song. I'll do for you now. Another epic song, The Rambles of Spring. I've a fine felt hat and a strong pair of brogues, brogans, rosin in me pocket for me bow. And me fiddle strings are new, and I've learned a tune or two, and I'm well prepared to ramble. I must go. Take it. There's a piercing wintry breeze blowing through the budding trees. I've buttoned up me coat to keep me warm. But the days are on the bend, and I'm on the road again, with my fiddle so close beneath me arm. I have a fine felt hat and a strong pair of brogues. I have bronze in me pocket for me home. And the fiddle strings are new. I'm 32 or 2, so I'm not prepared to rumble and must go. I'm as happy as a king as I catch a breath of spring, and a Rochester is winter ends. And the geese are on the wing, and the thrushes start to sing, and I'm heading down the road to see my friend. I have a fine felt hat and a strong pair of brogues. I have rosin in me pocket for me home. And the fiddle strings are new. I'm 32 or 2, so I'm not prepared to rumble and must go. I have friends in every town as I ramble up and down, making music in markets and the fairs. Through the donkeys and the grills, and the farmers making deals, and the yellow-headed jiggers unawares. I have a fine felt hat and a strong pair of brogues. I have rosin in me pocket for me home. And the fiddle strings are new. I'm 32 or 2, so I'm well prepared to rumble and must go. Johnny Bryan. Here's the health of one and all, to the day and to the soul, to the rich and poor life and going down. And when we return again, may our folks return our friends, and may peace and joy be with you until then. Look, I have a fine felt hat and a strong pair of brogues. I have rosin in me pocket for me home. And the fiddle strings are new. I'm 32 or 2, so I'm not prepared to rumble and must go. I have a fine felt hat and a strong pair of brogues. I have rosin in me pocket for me home. And the fiddle strings are new. I'm 32 or 2, so I'm not prepared to rumble and must go. What? Hey, would you please welcome my grandson to the stage, Braden Dady, to play some fiddle for us. And you thought only the Polish and German played polkas. This is an Irish polka, Egan's polka. Saoirse Dady, Maisie, and Rainey from the Jamieson School, if I understand correctly. I'm going to let Johnny introduce this next group for you.
Yeah, John asked me, who said we passed away, John asked me to play something at the funeral. And it was a lot of candidates, a lot of airs and good stuff that George played over the years. I was thinking, as I was thinking about it, just, get these from your hand. And it just comes to me. So this one sort of just popped into my head. So I translated Canisius, which is where his beloved home was, into Irish. Canisius means place of the berries, or hill of the berries. So in Irish, that's knock is a hill, Nagir is berries. So, hill of the berries for Joe.
magical melody filled the night air. Both of us sat there and lost track of time to the quaintness of melodies and innocent rhymes. That piano man that I've never seen, with instruments tied to his hand. He was dressed in bright colors of yellow and green, and his eyes showed the beauty in life he had seen. I played and sang with the minstrel man. We sang and danced through the night, and more than bounding packing my bags and running out with the minstrel man. for the melodies tunes, his soft crying whistle, my heart can soothe. And I, such a novice, so young and so scared, was gaining experience with one who had shared. I played and sang when the minstrel man, we sang and danced through the night, and morning found me packing my bags and running out with the minstrel man. And he said, I believe there's a minstrel in everyone's soul. Don't stifle the music, you're never too old. Just sing your own song or hum with the band, and you will please the minstrel man. Sing it if you know it. Come on. I played and sang with the minstrel man. We sang and danced through the night, and morning found me packing my bags and running out with the minstrel man.
You know, you always remember where you were, so I remember where I was when I wrote that song. I was in geometry class at Edison Tech. I had fun geometry, but I got a good couple songs out of it. And it reminds me, you know, that the wonder of traditional folk music, and especially our music, the Irish music. Joe and I started out, we were like most kids our age, when we saw the Beatles on TV. We wanted to be the Beatles. And then in our early teens, Joe got a banjo, and that changed everything. My mother used to joke that she would feed Joe put his meals to him under the door, because he literally locked himself in his bedroom for months. This one summer, I remember he never come out of his room but playing that banjo. It was driving us all nuts. But he got pretty good. He got pretty darn good. Joe became probably one of the greatest banjo players in the area anyway. And picked up the fiddle, picked up the whistle, picked up the Irish pipes, picked up the harmonica. I remember the night that Joe passed, my wife Carol, who was with us tonight, we were lying in bed talking about Joe, and I said to Carol, what do you think Joe's best instrument was? Because he played so many. And I agreed with her. She said, I think Joe's soul came out when he played harmonica. As great as he was on banjo and whistle and the Irish pipes, there's something about his inner soul came out when he played harmonica. But back to the traditional thing, we got into Irish music in a roundabout way, and up until, you know, our early teens, we weren't really exposed to a lot of Irish music. Maybe Bing Crosby when Irish guys are smiling, but as far as the folk music from Ireland, we really didn't hear much. We met some fellows down in Shalat at the Irish and all the immigrants. Two of them were from Ireland, Martin Whalen, Dublin, Brian Clancy, who just passed this past year. He was from Galway. The other two fellows, Phil Fleming was from Syracuse. Pat Lynch was from Michigan. He came to Rochester on a hockey scholarship at RIT. Did you know that, John? That was probably yet. So we got into the folk music serious, and then along the way I met a fellow by the name of Martin O'Keefe, a great Irish fiddler from County Clare. Just a quick story about Martin. I was over in Ennis at the Old Brown Hotel, and I went around the corner. One of the ladies on our tour called me in my room, and she said,
there's a fellow that wants to meet you in Custy's, little music shop around the corner. I said, okay, so I walked in, and his name was John McCarthy. And we talked for a little bit. And I looked around the shop. It was a small music shop. And he had a few guitars and a few fiddles and mandolins that were mediocre. But he had a glass case full of concertinas, small squeeze boxes, and button accordions that were beautiful. So I knew he was a squeeze box player, because that's what he sold. And I said, you play the box? He goes, I do. I said, there's a guy from my hometown in Rochester, his name is Martin O'Keefe. You know Martin O'Keefe? You were an dentist, you know? And he told the story. Martin was honored and inducted into the Traditional Music Hall of Fame at Willie Clancy, a week-long celebration and a teaching seminar of Irish music. And they honored him one year. And every night they have all the masters, the teachers, at the different instruments come up and play. There might be one night might be flute players. All the masters get up and each do a few tunes. One night it would be the Irish pipers, the harpists, the whistle players, the fiddlers. And one night was concertinas. So Martin was invited to come up, and there were 4 or 5 guys on stage. And when it got Martin's turn to play, he started playing, and this John McCarthy's telling me, there was a collective gasp over the audience. And here's why. Martin brought his music to America, I believe in the early 60s when he first came to America. And he kept it the way it was. He wasn't influenced by its changing over in Ireland, because folk music constantly evolves and changes. But he wasn't there for that in Ireland. He came to America and put it in the box. And it hadn't changed. So these people were hearing these tunes on the squeeze box that hadn't been heard over there in over 50 years. Pretty amazing, you know? And Martin was very generous to myself and to Johnny, teaching us so many of the songs and instrumentals. And he was a big influence on me writing that song, The Minstrelman, from Marty. So we'll do a sing-song. Want to sing a song with me? This is a song about a lady who stole fish in the street in Dublin. Molly Malone, right? So those of you that have been to Dublin know that in 1988 they built a beautiful statue commemorating their millennium, their 1000th birthday, and they chose Molly to be the theme song, and they honored her, and they built a lovely statue of her out of bronze. Those that have been to Dublin have seen it, I'm sure, right? Beautiful bronze statue of Molly. And I have to say, the artist was quite generous in his endowment to Molly. She's busting out the reading. So I know you know the chorus, alive, alive, oh, trying tacos and mussels, alive, alive, oh. You know, people don't realize the Irish stole this from the Mexicans. This is the Mexican Juanita Suarez. She used to wheel her wheelbarrow or ride on her burro through streets broad and narrow of crime. Tacos and nachos for 5 pesos.
Fair city, where the girls are so pretty. It's there I first saw my sweet Molly Malone. She wheeled her wheelbarrow through streets broad and narrow, riding tacos and mussels, alive, alive, oh. Here we go. Alive, alive, oh. You got it. Alive, alive, oh. And mussels, alive, alive, oh. She was a fishmonger, and sure was no wonder, and so were her father and mother before they wheeled their wheelbarrow
on being Irish, he had an abiding sense of tragedy, which sustained him through brief periods of joy. She died of a fever, and no one could save her, and that was the end of sweet Molly Malone. But her ghost wheels her barrel, her streets were on narrow, right hollows and muscles alive, alive, oh, just the girls alive, alive, yes. The songbirds of Brockport, about the boys ready for us, come on. Alive, alive. The girls win again. Let's sing it together. Alive, alive, oh, alive, alive, oh, right muscles and muscles, alive, alive, muscles, alive, alive, oh, alive, alive, oh, right muscles and muscles, alive, alive, oh. We'll stand down here for a minute. A young fellow by the name of Jeremy Dady. His father died, but left him a sizable inheritance. He did what any good Greek-blooded Irishman would do. He threw a party, a holy, and a song in his suit called Langathy's Ball. If they don't know the life with Jeremy Langathy, better go wait till they happen upon his father. He died and laid him on back and left him a barn 10 acres of ground. He gave a grand party to French ladies who were bringing to her on the wall. If you but listen, I'll make your rice and their roads and roses and Langathy Ball. Sing so much and go to double and sing so much you were up at the top. Sing so much and go to double and learn to dance for Langathy Ball. I stepped out, she stepped in again, I stepped out, she stepped in again, I stepped out, she stepped in again, learning to dance for Langathy Ball. You want to take the girls' part? I say I stepped in, you say I stepped out again. All right, let's try. I stepped out, I stepped in again, I stepped out, I stepped out, then learning to dance for Langathy Ball. I said, be sure got me invitations for all the nice shirts and boys on my ass. Just in a minute, we'll further be dating for dancing this merry day on my ass. Who had matches the punch and wine for the ladies with page, and nature was making and taking. There were little to don't to raise, these parting the girls and dancing away. They were doing all kinds of lessons at the home, the genre of women, the whirly game. But Julian Hanks and Bearish and Hanks and gave them a twist of her Bearish Jake. Oh, I'm a girl in the sheep that night, they dancing, you think the sailor would fall. I spent 3 weeks at Brooks Academy, learning the steps for Langathy Ball. 6 months and double and 6 months to another job. 6 months and double and learning to dance for Langathy Ball. I stepped out again, I stepped out, and learning to dance for Langathy Ball. The girls married the boys of our deacons in a way in college groups. They acted in having a parents make hard to keep with it for the very troops. Now the Christian lady get dragged in the murder, call for her brothers and gather them all. But he's over that he won't work if he has satisfaction and Langathy Ball. Yeah, this is the route that's carried in fake entertainment to St. Numbers as a rose. Some of the boys agree with what she took them on too much, I suppose. Recently,
so powerfully, they thought the gosh of the whole world. They turned up light from above the cave and swung the dishes and landed in 6 months and learned double in 6 months and learned double. 6 months and learned double and learned to dance for early. I stepped out. I stepped out. I stepped out. And learned to dance for landing all the ingredients of a wonderful Irish party. Good music, good dance, good songs, good drink, good crack. But one ingredient missing that would make it a true Irish party. A Donnybrook, a fight. Oh, boys, said there was no cheap and a lake from a patronage. I used to read like it was kind of introduction to King of the Terrible Hullabaloo. Okay, the Michael was there being instrumentalist with that federal chapters and all. Girls in their ratings, they hung on the table and left it in and the mannequin ball. Take the months, they took the gun and say so much to another law. Take the months, they took the gun and learned to dance for mannequin ball. Now I stepped out. I stepped out again. I stepped out. And learned to dance for mannequin ball. Jamieson School of Irish Dance. Wonderful girls, thank you so much. All the beauties of the place in the choir, some sing low, some sing higher, some sing out on the telephone wire. Some clap their hands and holler at all the beauties of the place in the choir, some sing low, some sing higher, some sing out on the telephone wire. Some just clap their hands and holler at
That was one of those songs that found its way in the Irish repertoire, written by a great songwriter from Dover, New Hampshire. His name was Bill Staines. And Tommy Macon and Liam Clancy picked it up and recorded it, and ever since it's been a favorite amongst the Irish people. When I was in a music store a couple years ago, and I opened up a music book, folk songs of Ireland. And there it was, placed in the choir. And I looked on the top right there where the writing credit was supposed to be, and it said, traditional Irish. So, I'll do you a song. I first heard this song by the great Liam Clancy, who Bob Dylan said was probably the greatest living balladeer in the world. Moving from a B flat to a D, and you'll be right in tune with me. Over the hills, my bonny honey shines. I'm over the hills to your darling. You choose the rose, and I'll make the vow, and I'll be your true love forever. I'll show you the chorus. And red is the rose that yonder garden grows, and there is the lily of the valley. Clear is the water that flows from the point, and my love is fairer than any. Was down by Clardy's green woods that we strayed, and the moon and the stars, they were shining. The moon shone its rays through her locks of golden hair. She swore she'd be my love forever. Red is the rose, and red is the rose that yonder garden grows. There's a lily, there is a lily of the valley. Clear is the water that flows from the point, and my love is fairer than
that flows from the point, and my love is fairer than any.
Thank you so very much for your great voice tonight, folks. Did somebody get practice in church this morning? Another tune here. This is one of those generational tunes. I have so many great memories. I mentioned the Emigrants to you earlier. They played this at my wife Carol's and my wedding 50 years ago. And here we are coming full circle. My grandson's up here playing it with me. It's a beautiful tune. And wouldn't you agree that Uncle Joe is looking down with tears in his eyes? So this is called Ship Egg, She More and David. She's big, she's small. And it's not talking about a lady in the grocery store. The Prairie Hills, 2 hills, one beside the other, the big mountain, the little mountain. She's big, she's small. Ship Egg, She More. Featured Joe, Braden, also John Dady, playing a little. Used to play a wooden whistle, and it wouldn't whistle. Then he got a steel whistle, steel wooden whistle. Then he got a zinc whistle. You zinc a wooden whistle? But now he has a tin whistle, and now he can whistle. Joy hated that joke.
I love it.
cheese pretty, cheese the back of the dressing. Cheese is dirty, 1, 2, 3, they put it out in the he says he loves her all the way to the waiting for. Rap at the door to the drink in the door, say no, I feel the fire gun. Out she comes to find the story, the figures and down to the nose. Oh, the priest said she'll lie, just get the love of the road and I. Me out, I go home, the place on me, the girls alone. Roll my hair and stole my comb, that's all right, till I get home. She's handsome, she's pretty, she's the better of the best. She's a girl, 1, 2, 3. This is your homework. We'll do this one night. We'll do your next, okay, Serge? After this one, just let I have to head on to. We wrote up the set list and I went off course, didn't I, Serge? I'm going to hear about it. So this is your Irish homework. Okay, I want you to go home today and Google the name Dolores Keane. Dolores, K-E-A-N-E. She was a wonderful singer. In my opinion, the female voice of of Ireland in the last 50 to 100 years. Just an incredible singer. She came from Galway. Go home and just look her up, and there's all kinds of videos out there. She's incredible. This is a song that Paul Brady wrote, another great singer-songwriter he's actually from Belfast, one of my heroes. And he wrote this song growing up in Belfast during what they call the Troubles, the late 60s into the 70s, when Ireland was just in an uproar of violence. He wrote this song, and he did a wonderful version of it. Joe and I copied it, and then I heard Dolores Keane's version, and I said, no, she owns that song. So I'm going to do this. In memory of Dolores Keane. God bless her. Just give me a second to read it. I did this song last night at a house concert, and somebody came up to me and said, the opening line is, the streets of Lebanon are burning. Is that a line that you just drew because of what's going on over there? And I said, no, that's the way it was written back then. So here we are, folks, 40 years later, and they just still haven't figured out. When will they ever learn? They say the skies of Lebanon are burning. Those fires leaders bleeding in the heat. They're showing pictures on the television, women and the children dying in the street. And we're still out at our own place, still trying to reach the future from the past, still trying to carve tomorrow from a tombstone. But hey, listen to me, this wasn't meant to be no sad song. We've had too much of that before. Right now I only want to be here with you till the morning dew comes falling. I want to take you to the island and trace footprints in the sand. And in the evening when there's no one around, we'll make love to the sound of the ocean. They're hanging banners over by the market, whitewashing slogans on the shipyard wall. Witch doctors praying for a mighty showdown. No way our holy flag is gonna fall. Up here we sacrifice our children to feed the worn out dreams of yesterday. Still try to teach them, lead them into glory. But hey, listen to me, this wasn't meant to be no sad song. We've had too much of that before. Right now I only want to be here with you till the morning dew comes falling. I want to take you to the island and trace the footprints in the sand. And in the evening when the sun goes down, we'll make love to the sound of the ocean. Plain folks don't see all the story. I guess this piece of love just happened out. I guess this young boys dying in the ditches is just what being free is all about. While this twisted wreckage down on Main Street will bring us all together in the end. Marching down the road to freedom, freedom, freedom. Hey, listen to me, this wasn't meant to be the morning dew is falling. I'll take you to the island, tracing footprints in the sand. Evening when the sun goes down, we'll make love to the sound of the ocean. I'll take you to the island and tracing footprints in the sand. Evening when there's no one around, we'll make love to the sound of the ocean.
Front center, that's my granddaughter, Saoirse Dady. And a special thanks to Katie Jamieson for loaning us her girls for this show today. We're going to do a dance now. Yes. We're going to be a dance that we get back into. This is a dance from Ireland. It's only danced by women. It touches on ballet almost. It's a beautiful dance. This is called the slip jig. Counted in a very strange time for all musicians, 9/8 time. Thank you so much for such a beautiful dance. It's on that time and we're going to have to leave you. Yeah, I want to thank all the folks here at St. Luke's for opening up this gorgeous worship space for Irish music today. And thank you for letting us share our heritage with you. We hope we entertain you and enlighten you and make you fit. And don't forget, who are you going to go home and look up? Saoirse Dady. Wonderful, wonderful singer. We'll leave you with this.
Oh, of all the money that ere I spent it in good company, and of all the harm that ere I done, alas, it was to none but me. For all I done for want of wit, to memory now I can't recall. So fill to me the parting last. Good night and joy be with you all. Oh, of all the comrades that I had, they are sorry for my going away. And of all the sweethearts that e'er I had, they wish me one more day to stay. But since it falls unto my lot that I should rise and you should not, I'll gently rise and softly call, good night and joy be with you all. If I had money enough to spend and leisure time to rest a while, there is a fair maid in this town that sorely has my heart beguiled. Her rosy cheeks, ruby lips, I own she has my heart enthralled. So fill to me the parting glass. Good night and joy be with you all. Good night and joy be with you all. God bless you all. Ryan, Braden Dady, yours truly, John Dady, Saoirse, Lane, Macy, and Reagan. Thank you, guys. And I forgot to mention, my wife's going to tell me, we do have CDs, DVDs, and a book they wrote about Joe and I. It's for sale, I believe, in the back. If you'd like to take some music, you should read it. God bless. Thank you again.